And as we're wrapping up a season and going into winter time frame, and we're sitting back and we're looking at, hey, what did we do well? What didn't we do well? There's a couple things on that end that I think we could do that I don't know that a whole lot of you guys are doing this. And you may think you know the answers why you might not be doing it, but something that we do every year with all of our maintenance accounts is as we come to the close of a season like this, before we go into that new year, we'll send them a evaluation sheet to evaluate our services. Now, you might think, well, I don't need that. Wayne, I'm a one truck operation or a two truck operation. I see my customers, trust me, they call me if something's not right, or they're telling me we're doing a great job. And, that all sounds good. But the reality of it is, sometimes people won't tell you or don't tell you whether something's good or something's bad to your face. They're more apt to tell you something's good than bad, right? We all get our fair share of oh man, y'all the best thing since sliced bread, and we all get our fair share of you guys suck, and and there's some balance in the middle of all that. But the question is, are you giving your customers an opportunity, whether it's digitally, and that's a cool thing. It's an easy thing to send out to your customers digitally, or you can send it out in paper. You can send it out in both. I know we do both. As old fashioned, sound like Bob Seger, right? That old time rock and roll. As old fashioned as that sounds, we send out a paper copy as well to everybody. And just asking them, hey, as our season draws to an end, tell us about what you thought about us this year. Even if we know that, hey, they've told us we've had a lot of complaints or we've had a lot of great things happen, regardless, it doesn't matter. We send it to everybody. It's one of the little things that we do, and we found over the years that our customers really appreciate the fact that we ask them, hey, how you doing? How are we doing? And then something else that we ask on that evaluation sheet is, how is the mowing? How is the trimming? How is the blowing? If it's maintenance account, right? What could we do different or better? Were our services completed in a timely manner? If you're looking for something like this, just reach out to me. I'd be happy to send you ours, email ours to you, and let you take a look at it. Maybe it's something you'd want to implement, because what you're going to find out is information that you hadn't found out from maybe some of the customers that do talk to you on a regular basis, but certainly you're going to get some information from people that don't call and complain that might have a problem. We don't use them to find out how great we are. We use them to find out if something's not going right for somebody that hasn't called in and said, hey, the trimming's not right, or the blowing's not right, or I've got a lot of my weeds in my yard. Or for the person that just fires you but never tells you why, you'll find that these evaluation sheets will help head that off a little bit. And I think that is what separates you from the rest of the pack. That's what separates you from the rest of the pack. It's the little things that we do. Yes, to answer your question, Doug, we that is included in our library of knowledge that we got. That template on those valuations. Actually, there's several of them. So we do that with all of our maintenance accounts. We've got a different one that we use for our fertilization weed control counts. We've got another evaluation sheet that we send out immediately when we get finished with any landscape or hardscape with somebody, because we want them to know we care. And I think that's something we just assume, and we all know what assume does to us, right? When we assume anything, if you break that word assume up, it makes an ass out of you and me when you look at the word assume. So let's don't assume people are happy, or let's don't assume they're sad. Let's give them an opportunity to tell us when they're not looking at us in the eye. Think about yourself. We've all probably complained about something at some point in time in our life. But how many times haven't you just said, man, I'm not going back there for a while, or I'm not going to buy again for a while, or I'm not going to do business with them again. And when you look at it statistically, and I'm not making this up, and I'm not going to throw an exact number out there because I don't remember, but look it up, Google it. You can probably figure it out in 9 seconds. But when you look at why customers fire somebody, it's generally not because they had a problem with something that happened. Okay, there's a really good U.S. News and World Report had a really good article on this a few years ago, and it was not directly related to the lawn and landscaping industry alone, but the service industry. So the service industry as a whole, on why customers quit. And I think it was over 60%. I can't remember the exact number, but it was over 60% of the customers that fired somebody else or fired somebody and hired somebody else. It was because of what they called the company's attitude of indifference toward a complaint, or they wouldn't respond to the complaint. And that's where I think we can all learn a little bit of something by sending out those evaluation forms. Send those evaluation sheets out. Let your customers evaluate your company, or you and your crews based on your company size, without doing it to your face. Because some people just don't want to tell you right to your face, but they will do it otherwise. And generally what we will attach to it is, hey, send this back by, call to action date. We normally give them a couple weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. Hey, send this back by January 15th or January 20th, based on when we send them out, And based on the ones that we have back, we're going to draw for a $50 gift card of your choice. I'm not saying you got to do that, but it's incentive for them to do it. And, the thing is, what you're going to find out, here's what we found out. And this happened many years ago for us. And we didn't even know it was going to be a sidebar to the success of doing these evaluation sheets, was what it allowed us to do for you guys that are running more than one crew. It will give you an opportunity to micromanage to see if you've got a particular crew that's a problem. If you've got, say, 3 trucks going out or 5 trucks going out, and you've got blowing issues that are coming back off truck 3, then maybe that's something that needs to be addressed with truck 3. Or if it's trimming, or if it's some scalp marks, or if it's broadleaf weed problems. The back of my yard doesn't seem to be getting treated nearly as well as the rest of my yard. I don't know if it's because you don't want to walk back there. They come up with all these reasons, but the reality of it is, it gives you a chance to fix it before the customer fires you. And I think that's where you see it will help in the retention of the customer. Because if you see something that's a reoccurring problem, you get to address it not only with the customer, but also with that particular crew leader. So, yes, it does help with retention. And last but not least, what we always put on there is, this goes back to the selling side. We're back to sales again, guys. Do you know anybody that could use our service? Birds of a feather flock together kind of things, and a lot of times we forget to ask the people that we already have as customers for referrals.